And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be starting the patch 6.1 story in Final Fantasy XIV. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in the Rising Stones, and we need to talk to Tataru. So the quest is called Newfound Adventure. Tataru is putting on a pot of tea and looks in need of company. Mithrie, how lovely to see you. If you're not in too much of a rush, I was about to make a pot of tea. Would you like a cup? Take a seat then, and I'll find us something to nibble on as well.
It's so much quieter these days without everyone around.
I mean, you kicked them all out.
Not that I'm pining for your return, you understand. I have my sources, and I know that each and every one of you is doing well and keeping busy with your endeavors. Meanwhile, I'm left with a surplus of free time and the question of how to make the most of it. What about you? Any plans for the immediate future?
On 10. Brand new adventure, of course.
Traveling to the edge of existence and back wasn't enough? Well, if that's the case, I might have a suggestion for you. You've fought bravely and selflessly, helping those in need and saving our star from unimaginable threats. For your deeds, you've been hailed as the champion of Eorzea and a host of other incredible things. But
Sorry, click too soon.
quit yourself as a simple adventurer again and travel the world in search of wonder.
You're right. Who knows what mysteries are still to be discovered?
Oh, that's the spirit. I can feel from here the blazing fire that just lit in your belly. Now, all you need is a destination. If you're having trouble deciding, just leave it to me. Thavnair. That's where you should go next. I doubt you were able to squeeze in a proper tour of Alzadaal the last time you were there. What with the burning skies and rampaging monsters and so forth. And I'm sure Vritra would be pleased to see you. Then there's the bounty itself. The Empire's presence in the region was always a deterrent to exploration. So if you've a mind to sail that sea, now's your chance. Just think of all the new experiences you could have.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? As the bearer of Azem's crystal, you may consider your duty to see at least that much.
Oh, I know that look. That's an adventurer ready to take on the world. In anticipation of an occasion like this, I was planning to gift you a new set of traveling clothes, but it's still a work in progress. Shouldn't take much longer now though, so sit tight and I'll have the last few bits sewn up before you can finish another cup of tea.
You're the best, Tataru. Make sure it has pockets.
Stitch in here and trim in there. Knot the threads with love and care. Just a little more to go. I'm sure you're still brimming with excitement. I am one with the needle. See how the fabric surrenders to my whims. Don't worry. I'll make sure the lining has plenty of pockets for all your little treasures. I swear adventurers are worse than children when it comes to hoarding every feather and leaf and animal hide they come across. Oh, we mustn't forget the waterproofing. Gods forbid you forget to disrobe before plunging into the sea, or a river, or a piping hot bath.
Thus I am returned.
That's Xenos, I'm going to be really upset.
Ah, you're awake. My apologies. I do get a little carried away with my sewing. You seem awfully cheerful. Pleasant dream? Or are you just looking forward to the next chapter of your grand saga? Either way, I promise to provide you with new apparel, and so I shall. If you'll accompany me to the Diamond Forge, we can put the finishing touches on your outfit. Shall we?
Alright. Okay, so we have to go to the Diamond Forge. So, let's go. Okay, we caught up with Tataru, and I've got some new accessories. So, let's talk to her. So, observe as the artiste refines her piece into a masterpiece. And no napping this time, I only need a moment, you'll see. A little more room in the shoulders, open up the cuffs, a final adjustment to the hem. All done. Let's see how it looks on the mannequin. Well, what do you think? Doesn't it just scream ready for a bold new adventure? That's it. I'm so glad you approve. You've outdone yourself, Tataru, thank you. Oh, stop. You'll make me blush. If you really want to thank me, though, all I ask is that you wear this on your travels. Or at least anywhere lots of adventurers might gather. They look at you, a famous hero, wonder, whatever did she purchased those style yet practical garments. And before you know it, hordes of new customers will be climbing over each other to place orders at Zetaru Taru's boutique. I can hear it now, the merry clink-clink of gil overflowing from my coffers. Sweet music to my ears. Cool. That's complete. So, burgeoning merchant empires aside, you must be excited to start a fresh chapter of your life. Next places to go, new people to meet. I often wonder how you remember all of your experience and exploits without taking at least a few notes. Or I have all my videos on my YouTube channel. Oh, maybe you should start by doing your SAT. You never know when some odd past detail might become relevant. Or one day you'll take a blow to the head and forget the better part of the past decade. Something to keep in mind in any case. Next expanded, the Unending Codex. Oh, cool. So, we have access now to the Unending Codex. I guess this is a written record of everything that's been going on. Interesting. So the Unending Codex is now available under Collection in the duty section of the main menu. New entries from prominent terms and characters will be added to the Codex as you progress through the main scenario quests. Cool. Alright. Next quest is called Bountiful Ruins. Zetaru has some advice to share with you. As the former receptionist and sometimes intelligence gatherer of the Scions, allow me to offer you a word of advice. Do not expect you to see rumors to simply fall into your lap. Adventurers rely on gossip, and the best place to pick up information are taverns and markets. At present, you only have a broad destination in mind. When you arrive in Favnir, I suggest you explore your options at Mithri's Mehyain, the finest drinking establishment in Radzahan. Charm the employees, and they'll not only point you in the direction of the local tale tellers, but also share with you the tricks for loosening their tongues. Now, I really must be getting back to running my boutique. Enjoy the journey, Mithrie, and may fortune find you. Fair enough. Alright, let's go to Mehyain's Mehyain. Okay, so we caught up with Mithrie. Welcome to Mehyain's Mehyain. Oh, hello. I did not recognize you at first. Are you here alone? Let me find you a table. Ruins beneath the bounty. Would you be speaking of the sunken treasure vault? We have one regular, a historian, in fact, who could tell you all about it. Ah, there he is, Professor Jalheen. I thought I saw him come in. Although a somewhat private sort, the Professor is quick to befriend those who share his fondness for the Mehyain's unique beverages. Offer him any drink from our selection, and he should be happy to share everything he knows about the vault you seek, and a few other odd bits besides. Whatever you buy for him is on the house, by the way. If Mithrie found out I took coin from Favnir's savior, she would have me scrubbing pots for a week. Alright. So let's talk to this person. It's Jalheen. Yeah. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any duty registrations. And what may I do for you, my Eorzean friend? I want to ask you about the sunken vault in the Bounty. Friendly chat about a drink. It's straight to the point. I don't even know who you are. And where did you hear such a thing? I suppose I could tell you about it, except the tale is rather long and my throat is very dry. One of your cheapest booze, please. We're on a budget. Here we are, one of Mithri's finest. Enjoy. Ah, lovely, buttons up. Jalheen empties the cup in a single pull. Now, where to begin? Might I assume that you've heard of Alzadaal? He was Khan of the Ori tribe which sailed to Favnir from the mainland, and a key figure in the history of Radzahan. His decision to aid the Arkasodra is what ultimately won them the war against the Gajasura, thus allowing our predecessors to lay the foundation for this thriving city-state. The truly fascinating stories, however, concern his grandson, Alzadaal III, who was known for his deeds as satrap in Radzahan's early days. Some attest that this man travelled to another world entirely, and returned with glittering riches. Others that he brokered an alliance with a certain worm of the first brood. Then there is the tale of the sunken vault, the one you seem most curious about. According to this legend, Alzadaal III claimed a small island somewhere in the middle of the Bounty. There he built a structure reaching clear to the bottom of the sea, a deep and secret storehouse, and locked all his worldly wealth within. In the centuries since, whenever a natural disaster or hardship befell Radzahan, folk would remember that tale of hidden treasure. Hearty souls would set out to claim their fortune, but precious few ever made it home. Would you like to hear more? Apologies, I have a slight tickle in my... Oh, my cup appears to be empty. Off-hit wink. Italy, another round for the professor? Ah, I see we've reached an understanding. You're a sharp one, adventurer. Another for the professor. Ho ho ho, today was a splendid day to visit the Mithrie. Jalheen gulps down his newest drink with gusto. Where were we? Ah, yes. Those who did return from seeking the treasure vault refused. I mean, flatly refused to speak of what they saw. Did they discourage others? Nay, quite the opposite. Such accounts only served to feed the legend, and the golden lure grew stronger than ever before. That reminds me of something Azem was saying. Azama, a fellow connoisseur of spirituous potables. Yes, he is. Anyway, he was saying that one of his acquaintances went after the treasure himself. Hasn't been seen since he set sail, I hear. But he did have... no, I can say no more. You seem a generous sort. What kind of man would I be to encourage what is clearly a foolhardy quest? If my word sent you to your death, I could never live with myself. No stranger to peril. I think I've heard enough. I like chaos. Is that so? Perhaps it's your turn to tell a tale. Then, what manners of dangers have you faced? The very edge of existence. From anyone else, I'd struggle to believe it, but I recognize you now. You're the hero of the final days. A drink. I need another drink to settle my nerves. Mithrie, more of the same, if you please. As you wish, but this one is on your coin, Professor. So Jacqueline drains yet another cup dry. That was his third cup. Yeah, Mithrie doesn't approve. Anyway, you being who you are, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to share a little more. This friend of Azama's, he was desperate to buy a treasure map, one which showed the way to entrench the vault. Seems that he could only get it from some merchant. What's his name? But I forgot. Let's drink a toast to you, my new bestest friend. 3 more drinks. Signal for water instead. Sir. Your drink, sir? Ah, marvelous. I am parched. Jitting gulps down the cup of water. That was water. Did you tell her to bring me water? Still, that's probably for the best. Very kind of you, really. My head will certainly thank you in the morning. I seem to have overindulged. I am put in mind of the words of Master Jalzane. Be wary how much of the drink you swallow, lest you swallow you. Forgive me, I shall subject you to no more of these unseemly antics. If you want to speak with Azama, well, as I said, we share a taste for the Mahine's fine spirits. He's probably came in as we were talking. I wish you fortune in finding your fortune. You appear to have learned all that Jalheen has to share regarding the undersea vault. To find out more, you'll need to locate a man by the name of Azama. Cool. Alright, let's see if we can find Azama. There he is. Conveniently, he's got a nameplate floating right above him. Yes, I am Azama. Who might you be? Your worst nightmare. Ah, all true, I'm afraid. My friend took his ship out in search of Alzadaal's legacy, and I've been watching for his sails ever since. I tried to dissuade him, of course, but he refused to listen. All he could do was talk about finding that vault, and that look in his eyes. I knew it wasn't common gold or jewels he lusted after. He was hunting Alzadaal III's otherworldly horde, and his ambition would not be denied. I see it in you too, that appetite for the mysterious and the unknown. But I'll not attempt to turn you from your path. I know too well the futility of that endeavor. So I will tell you what my friend told me, how he convinced a merchant in the bazaar to give him the rough location of the vault's entrance. It seems that this merchant, one Zalhal, I believe, is selling a map which shows the exact route. But my friend's purse was too light for its exorbitant price. What with meager wealth he instead paid to learn that there are ruins on a small island somewhere in the bounty, and within those ruins hides a path to the vault deep below. If you truly intend on seeking Alzadaal's treasure, I suggest that you put your affairs in order. I wish things were different, but I do not believe my friend is ever coming home. Fair enough.
Please, Ashal, please! You must let me have that treasure map!
What's all this about?
My mother and father were slaughtered by monsters. My baby sister, still too young to fend for herself. Can you spare us no kindness?
So, you hope to find your fortune? And what? You expect me to surrender my wares for pity's sake? What have you to offer in payment? As I thought. Come back when you've more than rags to your name. This is no mere treasure map. It is a guide to the vaults of Alzadaal III, one of the great satraps of Radzat-Han, and a direct descendant of Alzadaal Khan.
A map to Alzadaal's legacy.
So he says. A fake, I'd wager.
This is no fake. The parchment is marked with an arcane glyph of passage. You may find the ruins hidden in the Bounty, but you won't be setting foot inside without this in your possession. A priceless artifact it is, discovered amongst the rubble in the aftermath of the final days, and lovingly restored by yours truly. This map is the key to fabulous riches, and I'll be the king of fools to simply give it away. Be glad I am no such king, boy. Your scrawny-eyed would never return with that treasure alive.
Oh, cruel fate! Why must you tempt me with wealth I am powerless to claim? How I shall envy the one who purchases that precious map! Whatever they pay will be but pittance against the golden hoard they stand to uncover.
It's all a ruse. Get me to buy it. Hello.
What of you, sir? Fighting man of your stature would surely relish the challenge of recovering Alzadaal's lost fortune.
A fortune, you say?
If I had but the strength to seize that treasure, my starving sister would never want for food.
I'll take it. Will this cover the price? Well met, my friend. Someone is dressed for adventure. But why Thavner of all places? Knowing you, I suspect there's more to your plans than sightseeing and shopping. Ruins beneath the Bounty. Curious. And here I've acquired a map to just such a site.
With that sale, I do believe I've earned the rest of the day off. Thank you for your patronage, sir, but if you'll excuse me.
You needn't mind us.
And now I've fleeced one of the heroes of the final days. Pray the sisters were looking elsewhere.
This map may or may not be genuine. Either way, we'll need a ship to find out for sure.
So you seem eager to be on the way. I never took you for a treasure hunt.
Lest you misunderstand, I seek the treasure not for myself. If such a fortune truly exists, then it could help ease the struggles of those who lost their loved ones in the final days. I hope to do for Thavnir what you and Alphino did for the Alamegans when you recovered the Mad King's trove. Come now. You know Alphino needs little encouragement when it comes to recounting the tales of your shared exploits. Speaking of precocious lads, that boy in the bazaar was clearly an accomplice of the merchant. Suppose his role was to draw the attention of the crowd and add weight to the merchant's bold claims. Transparent act for the most part. It was not all mummery. The need to provide for his sister rang true enough. Thus, if some portion of the profits end up in that waif's pockets, then I will consider it money well spent, whether the map leads us to the vault or not. You are coming along, yes?
If I have to. Sure.
I thought as much. Now, let's see about securing a vessel.
Okay, let's talk to Estinian. So, you will recall I spoke of visiting Thavnir at Vitra's request. Well, he finally invited me to a feast, and made his proposal once I was too full of Hannish delight to refuse. He wishes me to train the Radiant Host in lance work, but that is a tale for another time. What we need now is a merchant or a trawler with a ship fit for the open sea. Matsia is a fisherman of the trade, yes. We should head to Akali and see if they can help us. Okay, so let's head there. Okay, we made it here, so let's talk to Matsia. My friends, what brings you to our humble village? So you need a seaworthy vessel to seek these ruins. Considering it was your deeds which allowed us to return to fishing, I should think everyone would be glad for a chance to repay the favor. Wait here, and I will have a bow stocked and ready for you in no time at all. Have you noticed our little shadow? He's been following us since we left the sea. We see you there, boy. Show yourself. Ah, it is you. Do you know how far out of our way we walked so that you not cross paths with some wild beast? I'm sorry, sir, but aren't you the heroes who saved Newfound? You are. I know you are. And I've gone and cheated you. I work with Zahal, you see, the map merchant. It is my job to play the pleading orphan and convince the crowd his wares are worth the price he asks. I'm ashamed of what I've done, and I beg for your forgiveness. If not for you, then for my sister. And I would never have, well, we'd be... Enough. I knew your game, and I paid the price willingly. A fortunate purchase, as it turns out, for my friend here was seeking those very ruins. You are kind to overlook the wrong I have done, but there is more you need to know. The map that you bought is very real, as the island it shows. I overheard Zahal selling the information to another customer. He told the man where he needed to search, about the ruins, about the vault, about everything. Then the man sailed out to find his fortune, never to return. You cannot go alone to that place. You should have more friends with you, maybe even a whole army. Do not doubt that the ruins hold danger, but I assure you, between the two of us, there is little we cannot overcome. Please, I cannot bear the thought of... We could invite our comrades. We might need a hand moving the treasure. Now you've gone and made him cry. That we could, and assuming that we do find this treasure hoard, it may prove wise to have more hands along for the carrying. Any idea on whom to approach? The Scions have scattered far and wide since our last gathering. Angry to you, Yonche, the twins, Grahati and Kryl, and Y'shtola. Let's get Y'shtola. Need a caster. Y'shtola? A Magix would be a welcome addition, aye, but I am loath to interrupt her research. Maybe we could ask a less prickly companion? The twins? At least one of them is healer. Little Lord Alphanode and his sister, were they not bound for Golemode? They have far more important matters to attend to than delving for trinkets. Is there basically a reason to not get any of them? Aye, Kryl might have hands full rebuilding the students, but if you reach out to Graha, we'll surely leave at the invitation. Will that set your mind at ease? Yes, if that man is as strong as you. Is he though strong, I mean? What's your name, boy? Mahrad, sir. Well, Mahrad, your life is yours to live as you will. But I suggest that you find a more honest trade if you truly wish to keep your sister safe. I'm not proud of what I do, but what choice do I have? We need to eat, and everyone's too busy rebuilding their own lives to bother with two grubby orphans. Wait, boy. I didn't take this roundabout road just to see you end up in some creature's belly. Let me walk you back to the city gates. Thank you, sir. Call me Estinian. Fair enough. Okay. Next quest. It's called Friends for the Road. Estinian is ready to escort Mahrad to safety. I shall leave you to recruit Graha. You'll appreciate the invitation that much more, I'm sure. As I recall, he was based at the Annex. Someone there ought to be able to point you in the right direction. Let's be off to Maryad. Do me a favor and do not stray from the path. Okay. Alright, so we have to go back to Charlie and to the Annex, so let's see if we can find Graha. Okay, we made it to the Annex. So, oh look, who it is. Welcome back, Mithrie. What might the students do for you? I'm looking for Graha, please. Graha? Yes, he's in the main hall with Mistress Kryl. They've been holed up in there for days. By all means, go and give them an excuse to take a break.
Ah, Urjika, my good man.
Would you be so kind as to...
Oh, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
I wish you had sent word ahead. I thought I was having visions for a moment there.
What are the two of you working on?
Raha and I have been compiling old records of the students' activities. We located several accounts in the archives of Numenon and added them to the collection we recovered from the Isle of Val.
And judging by the progress we've made thus far, sorting this pile will keep us occupied for days to come. But what brings you to the Annex, my friend? Surely you haven't come all this way just to watch us shuffle dusty papers around? The treasure vault of Alzadaal III.
And you're looking for companions to join you on this expedition. I would dearly love to accompany you, of course, but I'm afraid I'm committed to another task. On the subject of which, I had hoped to ask for your assistance.
Okay.
Then again, it's not so urgent that it can't wait until you've returned. You should go, Raha. I'll stay here and mind the shop, as it were.
Are you sure? I'd hate to leave you short-handed.
I'm sure. Just try to be back before too many moons have passed.
Well, I guess we're off on another adventure already. Have you asked anyone else to come along? Then might I suggest we invite your Stola?
Yeah, I tried already.
Ever since the Scions disbanded, she spent most of her time cloistered within the Great Gooble Library, hoping to piece together a method to traverse the rift. It would seem, however, that whatever wisdom she sought there was not to be found. She arrived in Sharlayan the other day. We spoke briefly before she began her search of Numenon. Considering what you've told us of Alzadaal's extraordinary feats, I do believe your Stola would be more than interested to hear what you have to say. Splendid! Then let us head to the archives at once.
Wait, before you go. I have another potential member to volunteer, if you've room to spare. Urianger. He sent the students a request for materials, you see. Treatises on the architecture of treasure vaults and the like. From what I can gather, the Loperites are looking to make improvements to their own creation, and wish to learn more about how we build things down here. So, why not take Urianger with you? Let him study Alzadaal's legacy firsthand.
None can deny the benefit of seeing something with your own eyes. If our expedition leader has no objections, I say we extend Urianger an invitation once we've spoken with your Stola.
Safe travels, you two. But don't forget, I'd still like your help with that other matter I mentioned.
Right. Then it's off to the library.
Okay, so we need to grab Y'shtola and Urianger. Okay, so let's now grab Y'shtola from the library. Okay, here's your Stola, asleep on some books.
I've never known Y'shtola to doze off in the middle of research before.
Close my eyes for one moment.
Hello.
How long
Like
have
that.
you two been here?
About 47 seconds. Just arrived, didn't want to wake you. Catching up on some light reading.
Nor did I want to fall asleep. I must have been studying for 2-3 days straight before exhaustion finally claimed me. As you know, I've been researching ways to travel from the source to one of its reflections. Well, looking for hints at least. I don't expect to find a simple set of instructions tucked away in some dark corner of the library. So I've been skimming through the stacks, hoping to uncover even a partial mention of any similar feats in the past. A means to travel between worlds exists, and you can be sure I will find a way to employ it. So I promised Runar, but 'twould seem I've set myself a nigh impossible task.
You needn't be so hard on yourself. The leap I made with the Crystal Tower was not achieved in an afternoon. It was the culmination of a collective effort spanning generations.
Oh, you think me discouraged? I assure you, 'tis quite the opposite. A daunting challenge and the time to sink my teeth into it. I feel like a fresh-faced student again.
A scholar in her element.
Indeed. Was there something else you wish to ask of me? Alzadaal is no minor figure in Harnish history, and much is known about his family. But this is the first I've heard of a descendant surviving a trip to another world. If those tales are true, then he may have left behind some clue as to how it was accomplished. An invitation to delve into one of the world's lingering mysteries, as if I could refuse. And whence do we embark upon this expedition?
Akyali, by ship. But before that, we thought to extend an invitation to Urianger as well. He was in Thalmazane, last we heard.
Then by all means, let us recruit him, and be on our way.
Alright. So let's go to there. And then let's see. if we can get Yurianche. Okay, we caught up with Yurianche.
Ah, our illustrious champion. Cloaked in the mantle of the common explorer, fame set aside in thy pursuit of simple adventure. I am told a new expedition is in the offing.
'Tis good to see you as well.
And thee. As ever, thou art the picture of strength.
You've been keeping yourself busy, I trust?
True to our plan, Thancred and I embarked upon a pilgrimage of sorts, with an eye for gauging the state of those lands through which we passed. Our travels were interrupted, however, by a request for aid from our befurred lunar allies. As you may recall, the Loperites had been seeking new purpose for the moon, another role through which it might serve to benefit mankind. The Forum hath been working to advise them in this endeavor, but I return to offer mine own counsel.
And this has what to do with treasure vaults, exactly?
Ah, you have learned of my predicament from Mistress Cryle. I know not whence they acquired such knowledge, but the Loperites now stand convinced that adventurers delight in treasure hunts. Thus, with their newly built wonderland of riches and mystery, do they hope to entice all manner of daring delvers to the moon. So earnest and innocent was their desire to bring joy to the world that I found myself powerless to refuse them my cooperation. But what of you, my friends? Why are you come to Labyrinthos? Fascinating. This is indeed a most fortuitous opportunity. I should be honored to accept thine invitation. How long hath it been, I wonder, when last our actions were not impelled by fate or desperation?
Aye. Though I cherish the Scion's accomplishments, 'tis pleasant to not have the weight of the world upon our shoulders for a change.
Counting Istinian, we number 5 now, yes? Without knowing what traps or perils await unwary feet, we may be wise to refrain from recruiting others.
I agree. Between us, we should have the skills to handle whatever situation may arise. Shall we be on our way?
What, no time to spare a word for the grizzled old bard?
All is well, I trust?
A wasted trip, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to catch up with a former mentor while you parleyed with the rabbits, but it seems our paths were not to cross.
You're looking well.
That's because we didn't travel by experimental aetherite. It's astounding what a lack of nausea does for one's sense of well-being. In any case, as we made our way around Alzadaal, we saw that much of the continent was in various stages of chaos.
Chaos.
A certain amount of disorder is to be expected. The final days are over, and the people no longer have a common threat binding them together. That's the thing with these fledgling troubles, eh? You need to keep an eye out, lest they mature into full-grown headaches. So, for what reason have so many esteemed personages seemed fit to gather? Beneath the waters of the Bounty, you say? I see you've already stolen away my traveling partner with the promise of unexplored ruins and scholarly glory.
Nay, 'tis not for mine own indulgence, but rather the fulfillment of my commitment to the Loporrits.
Ah, of course. And if you have a Stinian rounding out your group, you'll likely have all the members you need.
Feeling left out? I could put in a good word for you, if you like.
We may have been released from our obligations, but I'll never be free of that merciless wit of yours, will I? In all seriousness, 'tis best I sit this one out. Too many former scions consorting with one another might be seen as a cause for concern in certain quarters. I'll return to my usual reconnaissance and scout out the situation in the Far East. Feel free to share if you come across any interesting revelations. Till we meet again.
Shall we also hasten our departure? Sir Estinian will wonder what hath become of us.
Okay, so we need to catch up with Estinian. So let's go. Okay, we caught up with Estinian, and all the members are here. So I sent you to recruit Grahan. You return with an entire survey party. I hope Mastia's boat is sturdy enough to carry all of us. What he means is, we are grateful for the use of one of your precious fishing vessels. We are more than glad for the chance to provide it. I ask only that you take care to steer clear of the reefs in the shallows there. Aye, we will keep an eye out. Cool, that's complete. So, let's see. The next quest is called Alzadaal's Legacy. So Y'shtola is intrigued by the legend of Alzadaal III. Alzadaal III, I confess I am somewhat embarrassed of the tale of his journey to another world escaped my notice. Could it be more than simple folklore? And what of the treasure he supposedly brought back? His undersea vault may hold relics from another reflection. My friends, we should temper our expectations. The math doth promise ruins, but beyond what we know, not what we will find. Not until we find it, aye. So let us dispense with the conjecture and set sail for the vault. Alzadaal's Legacy is now accessible. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys.